On this episode of Bondi Vet,
Okay, I've got him.
Chris and Tim take on their most frightening mission ever.
Oh, jeez. If she really is 7 metres long, she's the biggest scrub python ever recorded.
Lisa is confronted with a terrified cat.
He could really hurt someone. He is a shredding machine.
She's feisty.
Chris helps an endangered species.
They're starving and they're dying in huge numbers.
And little Tyson has just found a foster home. But what will Chris discover that could shatter the puppy's new start in life?
You're having all this fun, all of a sudden, bang, everything changes.
You make my world a better place.
Yes. He's walking with me.
I can depend on you.
Hello.
Hi, how
You
you
must be
going?
Melissa?
Yes,
This is Tyson.
Tyson.
Oh, Tyson. I was warned that he was cute.
he's cute.
Melissa is fostering 3-month-old rescue dog Tyson,
Oh, all right, come on through.
but hasn't decided yet whether she's going to keep him.
Hey, little buddy. He looks reasonably lively, but he just does look a little bit skinny. What's that? Oh, is that the spot, is it? So, Cinezo is obviously just a temporary thing. You two aren't bonding at all?
No, not at all. No, he's beautiful, and the kids love him too. You look a bit worried.
Has anyone
there.
mentioned anything to you about his heart?
No.
So his heart isn't doing a normal lub-dub like that. It's whooshing. And if you put your fingers here, you feel that? Like a little
It'll
vibration?
vibrate. Yeah.
So my gut feeling going on how Tyson's heart sounds and feels is a patent ductus arteriosus, a PDA. And if this is a PDA and Tyson doesn't have heart surgery, this condition will eventually weaken him and kill him.
Can it be fixed?
I don't know. You're having all this fun with a puppy and then all of a sudden, bang, everything changes.
You're scaring me.
Can I ask you, is this going to affect whether you're going to actually keep him?
I'll keep him now. I can't send him back if there's something wrong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll make a phone call and see if I can get him into our specialist
Okay.
up at Sash.
Okay.
You've got to remember that Melissa hasn't actually formally adopted Tyson yet. So for her to face this crisis and face up to it and go, yep, I'm going to stick with him, that's really something.
This is so little, it's just so scary. I am in a bit of shock, yeah. I just went in for a checkup and now we're going to a heart specialist. Ready for the fight, yeah. We'll help him as much as we can. He deserves a good fight, don't you, mate?
An appointment has been set up with specialist vet Darren Foster
Hi, Melissa. Hi, I'm Darren. Nice to meet you.
to find out whether Chris's grim diagnosis is correct.
What we should do is just take him through and do an ultrasound of his heart, and then we can have a chat about what's going on and give you a bit more idea of what's happening with him.
Okay.
Right, Squirt. Let's put you up here.
Oh, you're
Silence.
very tiny on this big table.
It's very tiny. It's very quiet
Oh
too.
my goodness.
Emergency vet Lisa Chimes is assisting with the ultrasound.
And there it is. Wow, so you can see this dramatic flash of colour going from the left-hand side to the right side. No doubt at all that this is a PDA. I'm afraid for little Tyson, he's going to have some major heart surgery to try and fix him. Poor little kid.
It's basically an abnormal vessel between their aorta and their pulmonary artery. And all humans and animals have that vessel when they're in the womb, but when they're born, it's supposed to close off within the first few days of life. And in Tyson's case, that vessel hasn't closed off and you've got blood basically shunting backwards in the heart.
PDAs will eventually cause him to go into heart failure if they're not treated.
But he's going to be okay. Can you fix it?
Well, Andrew's here.
Surgeon Andrew Marchevsky will be performing the extremely delicate operation.
What do you actually need to do?
Well, we're going to have to go into his chest, so we're going to make a cut in between his ribs and sort of open him right up, so we'll have the heart sitting there pounding away at us, and then you get a pair of forceps and get round behind it and then tie some suture around it. Unfortunately, there's a risk involved with it. The shunt itself, or the abnormal vessel, is quite thin-walled, and there is a risk that we can rupture it.
There's no way I'll give him up now. There's no way. He's here to stay.
Oh, Chris, Tim Faulkner is on line 1 for you.
Okay, no worries.
Back at the Bondi Clinic, Chris has a call from the Australian Reptile Park's operation manager, Tim Faulkner.
Hey, Timmy.
Hey, how you going, mate?
Good, buddy. What's going on?
Well, I'd like to see if you want to take a quick trip up to Cairns. Bit of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We're not going snorkelling, are we? I just know that.
Open your computer and have a look at what I've just sent through. You are going to love this one, mate.
Yeah.
It's a 7-metre female scrub python, and they call her Big Mama. She's living in the roof of an outrigger canoe club, and she's terrorising all the women that paddle there.
What is that?
Tim has sent Chris a video of 2 huge male snakes captured on a mobile phone inside the club rooms.
Mate, they're huge.
The males are there to mate with Big Mama.
We need to go ASAP. It's breeding season now. She's been spotted there recently. This is our chance.
Oh, righto. Righto. We're going.
Alright, kitty, I know you're scared and sore.
Lisa's second patient for the day is a terrified cat that's lashing out at everyone.
How are we going to handle you?
His owners believe Dougal's been bitten by a snake.
Gives me a fright every time. This cat has apparently been found next to a black snake, and according to the owners, he's got a swelling on his face. The problem is he is seriously angry and we cannot get near him. Far out, you're crazy, kitty. This is not funny because snake bites are actually really serious, but Dougal's owners are refusing to appear on camera. I think they're embarrassed by his behaviour. Well, he's in there.
You're going to be fun, aren't you?
So I think our only option is to give him an anaesthetic with gas.
Lisa now has to get Dougal into the anaesthetic chamber.
Should have a first aid kit.
The question is, can the team do it without casualties?
Dougal is nuts. He could really hurt someone. He is a shredding machine.
How excited you are.
This could be the biggest scrub ever.
Yeah, well, that's why your pole's that big and mine's this big. You could have told me that.
That's for the tail.
I'm not ready for this fight.
Chris and Tim have landed at Cairns Airport. They're now on their way to Yorkeys Knob to try to capture a monster female scrub python living in the roof of the local boat club.
You had much to do with scrub pythons?
Oh, I've had enough to do to know that they scare me. And the teeth,
Yeah,
huge.
that's the thing, isn't it?
They eat full-grown wallabies, swallow them whole.
Known to locals as Big Mama, the legendary reptile is scaring the hell out of the lady paddlers.
Scrub pythons are a bit mythical, like crocodiles.
Yeah.
Who's seen the biggest one?
Yeah.
And this could be big.
The boys are on a tight schedule. They only have 2 days to complete their daring mission. All previous attempts to remove Big Mama have failed.
In the dark, in a confined
Yeah.
space, with a snake that's
With a big
6 to 7 metres long. Awesome. Hey, how are you?
How you going?
How you going? I'm Chris.
At the Yorkeys Knob Boat Club, Chris and Tim are met by the CEO, Stu, and one of the outrigger canoe paddlers, Sue.
Where the action's happening?
Apparently.
Well, do we bring the right gear or what?
Oh, mate, you might need a bigger hook than that.
We would hate to see something happen to her, and that's the priority, is to make sure she's protected.
You've seen her across here?
We've seen her the width of the road.
Like she goes right across?
Right across. It was down.
It's time to lift that denial and acknowledge the fact this is a very big snake.
1, 2...
She's a monster.
3, 4...
And I'm in trouble. 5, oh dear, 6... Right across.
Right across.
Tim is in trouble as well. He doesn't know that yet. Look at his face.
You know, off the camera, all day, I've been really psyched up. You guys take all the time in the world, and now I'm getting really psyched out about this monstrous snake. There's a little bit of poo in my undies.
Snake in the roof right now.
Now.
Check it out.
Whereabouts? Through the back there?
Yeah.
Inside the club rooms, Chris and Tim get their first look at one of those male visitors.
Oh, man, he's a little one.
Serious?
Yeah,
That's a baby.
That's an absolute baby. He's still a handful to grab.
You saw his head was like that?
Yeah.
He's a toy.
Oh, jeez.
This is where she has her, shall we say, late-night meetings.
Look at
this.
that.
She does this with her men.
She does this. Shall we say she's a popular female? She's maybe a socialite, a Paris Hilton of the snake world.
We train at 5:15 in the morning, get here in the dark, and there's things hanging off the roof. And then we realise it's a snake. And the screaming that happens, and I'm a bit worried they might have heart attacks or whatever, but everyone's a little bit on edge.
I'm going to go up there, and I'm starting to think the hook's no good because there's no way to work it into the roof, so it looks like I'm going barehanded. Yeah.
Yeah. The reality is, because she's got so big, she's become a danger to the dogs, the cats, and really the kids.
At Sash, Lisa's trying to get close enough to the frightened Dougal to find out if he's been bitten by a snake.
Now let's just hope we can actually get him into the anaesthetic chamber without any casualties.
Got him? Yep.
All right, watch your hand, Vic. Ah, takes 3 people to wrestle a 5-kilo cat. Isn't that just great? It's taken a few minutes, but Dougal is finally under my control, and now I can actually start looking for the bite site. The problem is we've already lost valuable time, and if Dougal has been bitten by a black snake, then that venom is already attacking his system. I think we've definitely got some soft swelling over here, and 2 puncture wounds over there.
With puncture wounds found, Lisa has the evidence she needs to start giving Dougal the anti-venom treatment.
Give him 5 minutes for those meds to kick in. He can't even lift his head and he's growling already. Not a happy camper. Even though everyone's having a laugh about Dougal's personality and how aggro he is, it actually is quite a serious situation. So normally we give it over half an hour, but we'll just go a little bit slower in him. I just don't want him to have a reaction. The problem with black snake bites is that the animals can actually get worse before they get better. Sometimes they can have delayed signs, so it's really important that we keep a close eye on Dougal and only send him home when we're 100% sure he's recovered.
Getting really nervous now. I know, it's going to be sad.
Outside, rescue puppy Tyson has arrived for his life-saving heart surgery. This family were only supposed to be looking after him for 1 week.
Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
How you going?
All right. Got everybody here today.
Everybody's here today to say goodbye.
Oh, well, not goodbye.
Not, or just good
See
luck.
you later.
Yeah, see you later. See you
Geez,
soon.
has he grown a bit?
Now, despite the operation costing thousands of dollars, they have decided to keep him.
Say bye to Tyson. Say bye. Cuddle for Tyson.
I'm really, really nervous for him, like, because he's so little.
It's sort of like a bit of a time bomb. He could just suddenly die of heart failure at any moment. They're in the chest. I just have to push some lungs out of the way. If I put my finger on it, I can feel it vibrating. And that's just because the blood's going in the wrong direction. So we've just got to get around this little bugger and get him tied off. I've just dissected down the front and back end of the shunt, and that's easy enough to see. Now I'm going to be going around the back end of it, which I can't see, so I'm going to be doing by feel. And if ever anything's going to go wrong, it's during this bit. They're not going to talk for a while now.
If I can get into that next part, I can get him. The really awful thing is that you put your head up through one of these holes and you're looking around and you think, I haven't checked behind me. You look around and there could be a snake right there, just waiting to grab you. It's an awful feeling.
Chris and Tim are on a mercy mission to Cairns to try to remove a frightening 7-metre python from a local canoe club.
This is like a posh hotel here. You've got all these lights, you've got hot water systems. The snakes are just sitting on top of them. They duck outside, they go to the supermarket, eat a fruit bat, come back in, digest the food, lay your eggs, hatch your babies. It's just the perfect area for big snakes.
There's snake skin everywhere.
Local folklore around here says that Big Mama is 7 metres long. If she really is 7 metres long, she's the biggest scrub python ever recorded. Oh, Timmy.
What do you got, snake?
Snake skin.
Skin.
I don't know. I don't know how big it is. Grab hold of that.
Oh, it's big enough.
Oh, gee.
I have had a bit of enough. It does put you on edge. I mean, everyone talks about the beauty of it and all those things. I'm over the beauty, just get the snake out. Okay, just want to go out, train without peeing your pants would be great.
It's a big snake.
Oh, Timmy?
Yep.
Yep.
You got one?
Yep.
Watch him. They'll bite, mate.
Yeah, I know. Everyone that knows a little bit about snakes always says, oh, pythons, you shouldn't worry about them, not venomous. With scrub pythons, it's different. They've got massive teeth, and when they latch on, because the teeth face backwards, you can't get their head off. They call them the pit bulls of the snake world for a reason. I got him. He's not a big one.
Jeez, look at that. How beautiful is that?
I'd say, Timmy, it's 1-0.
No, that's a half.
Mate, this
at best.
Is this a scrub python? Yes, it is. Did I catch it? Yes, I did.
It's a baby scrub
1-0,
python.
Timmy. 1-0.
The funny thing is that Chris is all cocky now. I've got a snake, mate. Wait until he sees a big one. He's going to freak.
It's always a bit tense. It's you're dissecting blind around the other side and you're doing it all by feel.
At Sash, Tyson's life is in Andrew's hands. The surgeon must now tie off the abnormal vessel that's causing the rescue puppy's deadly heart murmur. This is where the smallest slip can be fatal.
You've got to be really careful, really patient, really gentle, because if you start pushing it a little bit and you're in the wrong spot, it's a disaster if you push through the blood vessel, and they just die. Whew. There's that sigh of relief. So just tying this off now, you can see his blood pressure changes and that reverberation in his heart's just disappeared. So he's a cure.
Despite the great result, it will still take Tyson several days to recover.
And it's funny, I mean, you look at the published risks of mortality are 2%, but it's just the fact that it's the complication in the surgery's death. It's a big complication.
More skin.
In Cairns, Chris and Tim are continuing their search for the legendary Big Mama and her harem of boyfriends.
These snakes are so strong. They can constrict and have the muscle power to eat a wallaby and, you know, to strangle us.
I reckon I can see something.
A snake?
Yeah. Go up that end. It's a monster.
He should just come past me and I can grab him.
Yeah.
What's going through my head up there is I'm about to grab the snake and I can see its head is don't bite me, don't strangle me. They're the two most important things.
Just be careful because it's facing that way.
Okay.
He's moving now.
Okay, again. Yep. He's just past me. Yep.
You got him?
I've got the head, yep. Got it, mate.
You got it?
Yep.
This?
Yep, just take it down. More.
Keep on going in here.
Hold on, he's dead. Feed that down.
As the battle heats up, what the boys don't know is whether the snake is Big Mama or one of her boyfriends.
Pull this way.
Yep. Keep coming.
Yes, hang on up this end. Which way do you want me to pull?
Grab this here. It just kept coming and coming and coming. Big snake.
Oh, jeez.
Over.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Look at that.
It could be her. It could be her, you all right?
Yep.
There's obviously a real buzz about trying to find Big Mama. But in all seriousness, the most important thing is getting her and moving her somewhere safely, because she's a once-in-a-lifetime snake. Oh, mate, let's get her on the lawn. She's a monster. Stretch her right out there, Timmy.
There you go. What are you at?
4.9 metres.
4.9.
It's not her, fellas, I don't think.
You don't reckon it's her?
I don't reckon it's her. I reckon it's a bit small.
I was shattered when he said it wasn't Big Mama.
They were pretty excited about it. I didn't want to tell them it was definitely not her.
Oh, might flip him over. There you go.
Oh. You're right.
We've had a few of them.
You are right.
There you go.
There's little spurs here. He's come out of Big Mama's house, but it ain't Big Mama. Oh, man.
Head down. 1 second. 1, 2, 3.
We've still got a lot of work to go and a lot of crawling around in roof spaces and a lot of looking to find her.
She could be in some obscure part of this building, even in a wall. Or she's not even here. That's what's doing my head in.
Need a head torch, because if we grab one of these snakes, not going to have two hands to hold the... It stinks of snake up here.
Yeah.
It's all I can smell.
Yeah.
In tropical Cairns, the search is continuing for the notorious python that's terrorising a local outrigger canoe club.
Oh, it's just hot in here, just oppressively hot, 35, 40 degrees, and it's perfect for snakes, but geez, it's not good for people.
A nervous Chris and Tim are now climbing right into Big Mama's lair in a last-ditch attempt to find the massive snake.
As soon as you go up the manhole, everywhere you are, you can imagine the snake sitting there. Whack, it's going to strike. But to think they're anywhere and you can't see until you're within the strike zone, it's scaring the tripe out of me up there. I tell you what, I would not want to grab on to a 5 metre plus scrubby in here.
Yeah. You got nowhere to go, do you?
No.
It's all on her terms.
Yep.
Really starting to see why people have failed here. Oh, it just don't fit. Because it's a big job and we haven't even got our hands near her. Once we even get close to her, that's when the real challenge begins. This is the last roof space to check. So she's either in here or she is way smarter than we think. Sorry for waking you up, girl.
Yeah, she could be right there, anywhere. Basically, we've demolished the place. We haven't found the snake. I don't think she's in there.
So, Chris, you were going to be our saviour. You were going to move her on.
We got one big snake out.
Yeah, I know.
And another whopper, which we haven't been game enough to show you.
He was just a little baby.
Is this all just one big wind-up?
No, the girls wanted to see you.
Yeah, that's right. Surprise! I just think she's so elusive. He's not actually used to a female trying to get away from him, actually. Maybe he's used to them coming forward and not backwards. I just don't think you've got the right scent on with that snake. No, he doesn't have the right attitude, does he?
Finally, the boys are admitting defeat. Big Mama has eluded them this time.
I'm not surprised they didn't get her. Many have tried, many have failed.
See, Big Mama. Yeah, you won. Convincingly.
Oh my goodness. This is a different cat because before he was lunging at the cage and now he wants some kisses. Look at you.
Next day, Sasha's most feared patient is progressing well after a snake bite
Oh my goodness. What a different cat.
and appears to have had a personality transformation. This was Dougal before the medication, lashing out at anyone trying to help him.
How are we going to handle you? He was like a wild zoo animal that we couldn't get near without sedation. Now he practically came out of the cage to cuddle us, and he is just a completely different cat. Hello, buddy.
But there will be one more test of this prickly patient's personality.
I still don't trust you though, buddy. I'm sorry. After your performance. We're going to be taking out his IV catheter, which is not pleasant for even the nicest of cats, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge with Dougal. We've got some sedation ready in case he decides to not play with us.
Or he does decide to play with us.
In his way, not our way. We are... One, two, three. Come on, Dougie. All right, just a Band-Aid. Worst is over. It's all over. I'm always happy to see my patients go home because it means that they're better, but I don't think Dougal's going to be on my Christmas card list. And I've given him strict instructions that he needs to be a good boy to his family. He really needs to keep the only friends that he's got. So, Dougal, you happy to be leaving us at Sash? Please don't come back.
You know, one of the great things about being in a place like Cairns is the Bush Telegraph, and let me just say, it is alive and well.
Before Chris heads back to Bondi, he's been recruited to help out another local struck down by a serious epidemic.
How you going?
Hi, Chris. How are you?
It's Jenny, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I
I'll
knew
take
you-
your hand, but I've got my hands full at the moment.
I can see that.
It's great that you're here because we really can do with some extra help.
When everyone imagines the Great Barrier Reef up here, they think of this really fertile area that's full of coral and surely full of food. But for turtles, after the cyclone Yasi came through, all that seagrass that turtles normally eat got covered in silt. It's died off, and for turtles, there's no food anymore.
Survival for these turtles depends on rehabilitation centres like this one, which is funded entirely by donations.
It's really sad to see it because they're such an incredible animal. I mean, these animals have survived millions of years, and now with what's happening, they're starving and they're dying in huge numbers.
Do we know where this one's coming from?
This one's coming down from Port Douglas.
Yep. Jenny and the team here are already at full capacity, but it's a measure of how significant the problem is. They've got another turtle coming in right now. It just never seems to end. Oh, slappy, are you? Huh? A bit feisty.
She's feisty.
She's actually got a tag.
She has. I'll just check the number.
So K47.
Chris took her out and went, oh no, this is Nellie. What are you doing back in here?
Those little papillomas, they look like little warts almost. What we do know about these fibropapillomas is that they're caused by stress. If they're out there and there's not enough food and they start to starve, the immune system crashes and these lumps just take over their body. If she's got these on the outside, then there is going to be a risk that she actually has them internally as well, isn't there?
Yes, and that's the problem. If they have them internally, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do for them.
The only way of knowing whether Nellie has any of these fibropapillomas inside of her is with a CT scan. Now, not many vet clinics around here have them, but thankfully, there's an imaging centre, a human one, that might just fit Nellie in. Go on, go. You're coming with me.
Chris is now transporting Nellie to the Cairns Diagnostic Imaging Centre. The CT scan is being donated free of charge.
It's a big moment, isn't it? All right, we'll have fingers crossed in there. We'll flippers crossed. When we take this image of Nellie, if we find fibropapillomas inside of her, then the sad fact is she doesn't have a future.
At SASH, after winning one battle to save Dougal, Lisa's now confronted with a rare emergency.
Sorry, I've got to be quick.
1-year-old Bella has bitten a deadly pufferfish on the beach.
Hey, darling, can I pick you up? Right, okay. All right. Okay, so Bella apparently picked up a pufferfish this morning. She's been vomiting all day. She's clearly in a lot of distress. She's very weak, she can't stand, she's got tremors. Pufferfish are extremely dangerous. I mean, usually an animal should be dead within 60 minutes of biting one. Within half an hour, they have struggling to breathe and they need to be put on a ventilator. So this happened this morning. It's now been several hours and she's only starting to show these sorts of signs later. So it is quite atypical, but I am worried. This is really weird. I've never actually seen anything like this. I just want to make sure that she can breathe and ventilate properly because the worry is that the diaphragm can get paralysed and that's when they die.
In reception, a quick search of the internet is not helping Bella's owner, Greg.
Just did a check and it's the toxin in pufferfish is actually, I think it's 1,200 times more powerful than cyanide. So obviously a little bit goes a long way for a poor little dog that small.
You have a big look inside you now. All right, good luck, huh?
Back in Cairns, Nellie the turtle is about to undergo a CT scan to find out whether she's suffering from the deadly internal fibropapillomas.
It's a pretty critical time for Nellie, really, because of the fact that what we get on this image now determines what sort of future she has, if any. What we're looking for here are any little lumps on any of those intestines or any other internal organs like the liver. If we see lumps, it's a very bad sign. Our liver looks good, intestinal walls are nice and smooth, spleen up here is great. It looks pretty good.
So you're happy?
It looks like it should.
That's great.
Just like the textbooks.
It's good news for Nellie.
Yeah. Really the only issue with Nellie right now are these external lumps, and the great thing about those is we can cut those off. Wake up for us. Got some good news. Nothing internal. Hey? It's good. It's very good.
Oh, baby girl. Okay. You're okay. I know.
Lisa's fighting to save the life of 1-year-old Bella. The little schnauzer has bitten a pufferfish and has already defied the odds.
This is really bizarre. Bella picked up a pufferfish 8 hours ago. She should be dead right now. There's no treatment for pufferfish toxicity. There's no antidote at all. So Bella needs to be treated with a drip and pain relief and sedation. And then we need to watch her really closely to make sure she doesn't need to go on a ventilator. Just have a sleep again. Sorry to disturb you, sweetie.
It's a rare case and Lisa is searching for answers.
What we do know about the toxin in pufferfish is that it's one of the most deadly toxins in the world. It's the same sort of toxin that's in blue-ringed octopuses. It's called tetrodotoxin. So what it basically does is it shuts the nerves down all over the body. I must admit I haven't actually ever seen anything quite like this.
Bella's owner Greg is struggling to cope with the news.
Worst case scenario with pufferfish toxicity is that it can affect their heart, so it can make the heart basically stop. Usually if they're going to improve, whether they're on a ventilator or not, they will take, say, 24 to 36 hours to get better.
She's still with us, so she's going well.
Greg's now calling his wife, Carolyn. Little Bella may be running out of time. Chris is on his way to the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital to remove Nellie's fibrous tumours.
You right, Nellie? We'll just check your breathing. You're going okay. Good girl.
This will be a delicate procedure.
This is local anaesthetic, so we'll inject this underneath the lumps. And these are the ones I'm most worried about, just because if they get a lot bigger, it's just going to start to affect how she moves this flipper here. So they're the priority.
Papillomaviruses, they actually grow big, and what happens is their joints become immovable. So it really is a very important operation that's been done today.
Chris is using an electronic current to burn off the tumours. The electrocauterisation helps minimise any bleeding.
Key here is just to be a little bit speedy, but be precise, because you obviously only have limited time with Nellie being comfortable with this. The whole thing about the procedure right now is the fact that there's no clock on it. Really, Nellie decides when it begins, and Nellie decides when it finishes. And we just constantly watch her, and at the first sign of distress, it's over.
It's all right, Nell. Come on, good girl. Good girl, Nellie. Come on, Nell.
Who's doing
it? Good girl, Nell. It's all right, Nell. Last one, that's it.
Well done, girl.
Pretty happy with that, Jen. You've got a pretty good range of movement now, and meant to have 20 off. That's going to make a pretty big difference.
It will. It'll make a huge difference to her, actually. It's great. Good girl. When you think this is a wild animal, and she's come in, she's been operated on, she's just done really, really well.
I know. You're a lot less lumpy. Huh? Look at that. You reckon?
Looked pretty good to me. I'm going to let you go home with Jen now.
Oh, sweetheart. Here you go.
Greg's wife Carolyn has arrived at Sash to comfort Bella. The little schnauzer has bitten a poisonous pufferfish.
Bella can't actually tell us what she's feeling, so we only know what people feel. And when a person is poisoned by a pufferfish, they apparently feel pins and needles, so starting in their mouth and then all over their body, and then they just become weak and eventually paralysed with breathing difficulty. So I think at the moment Bella's just feeling pins and needles all over her, and she just can't control her legs.
Bella just turned 1 yesterday, so she's still a baby. And she's such a cheeky little creature. She's like, she's just cheeky, and she has a really cheeky little grin. It's amazing how little, hairy creatures can just touch your heart.
We don't know what's going to happen over the next few hours, so we'll just take it hour by hour, I think. Who's a sleepy one?
It's a long night for Lisa at Sash as she keeps checking on Bella's condition.
No, can we see if you can stand ease? Okay, all right. You don't have to do that.
The little schnauzer is lucky to be alive after biting a poisonous pufferfish.
She's still not good. She still hasn't got control of her legs, and her head's sort of swaying around, and she's groaning. She still doesn't want to be touched, so the toxin is still in her system.
But when Lisa puts the shaky Bella on the floor, she is showing plenty of courage.
Come here. This is pretty amazing. I mean, Bella's still fragile, but she's standing and she's even walking. Yes, she's wobbly, but she's walking. She's getting there. She's sort of just learning to use her legs again. She's still a bit wobbly.
I heard you're renowned for liking squid.
Next day in Cairns, Nellie the green turtle is recovering well after the surgery to remove her fibrous tumours.
You like it, huh? Well, we've got a bit more. You just can't get enough, and that's a really great sign. There's no doubt that these turtles have the odds stacked right against them, but thankfully rescue centres like this do exist. You just have to believe that you can make a difference, and Nellie should be the perfect example of that, in the way that she came in such a bad way. But hopefully in a few months' time, she does get released back to the wild, and that should be where she stays.
Chris and Tim are now on their way to the airport, but there's one last thing for them to do before they leave Cairns.
It's going to be in for a nice surprise when they come out of that bag.
Release their snakes back into the wild.
See you later.
Look at that.
All right, there's a bit of a difference there.
You can smell his home, a bit more lively. Well, I think you should do the honours.
Now, Big Bubba, I know you're gonna miss your girlfriend, okay? And she was a fine woman, wherever she is. But hey, there's plenty more girls around here. Good-looking ones, wild ones.
It's satisfying to see that snake just take off here into the jungle. Now, away from suburbia, into the jungle. It is perfect.
You know what? We didn't get Big Mama, but in a way, what that allows is for this legend to live on. And that's kind of nice. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
Good job, Pete. Well done.
Oh my goodness, now I can pick you up and you don't quiver.
Several days later, Bella has made an extraordinary recovery after biting a poisonous pufferfish.
Look at you! She's got her normal strength and she's bright and happy and running around, wagging her tail, and her mum and dad are going to be very excited to see her.
Carolyn and Bella's big sister Coco have arrived to take her home.
Look at there! Oh, kisses! Really, really lucky little dog, because following the textbooks, she should have been dead within an hour, not with us. So it's almost a miracle. It's fantastic.
As for Tyson, just 4 days after his heart operation, the popular puppy has the all clear and is heading home.
He's crazy. We want to keep him, but we're so happy to send him home looking so bright and happy.
Come on, Tyson, it's time to go home. Good boy. Come on. Go and walk out. I know. That's it. Oh, so good boy. Come on.
Hello! Hello! It's a puppy.
Thank you so much.
No, that's a pleasure.
Hey, you want to come home? You want to come home?
At the end of the day, we've got a happy dog, happy owner, happy surgeon. It just doesn't get better than that.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kate, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the Bondi Vet YouTube channel. Click on the screen for more great content. And for free, exclusive, never seen before Bondi Vet stories, you can sign up to bondipet.com, and you can do so via the link in the description.